Time for another week of racing over at Woodbine. Let's talk about racing on October the 12th. We're already into October, the middle of October almost. Woodbine race number 2 is going to kick off that early pick 5 sequence. And that pick 5, remember, it has a $50,000 guaranteed early pick 5 pool on Thursdays and Fridays during the week. And then it bumps up to that $100,000 guarantee on the weekends on Saturday and Sunday. Always starts with the early pick 5 in race number 2. And I'm usually looking at those past performances in these videos. I'm always looking at DRF past performances when we show you. And I'm always looking at Formulator because those are the past performances to me that are the best. I can take one click to the charts, one click to the race replays, one click to the pedigree information, one click to the trainer's stats database. DRF past performances are free when you wager through DRF bets. They give you a bunch right off the bat when you sign up with the promo code winning. And then following that, every time you bet $50, then you get credit for another set of past performances. So if you're playing through DRF bets, you will be getting credit for past performances. Every time you wager $50, you'll get another set, and then you won't have to be spending a whole lot of money on past performances. Let's look at the card and the yearly pick 5 for Woodbine for Tuesday. Let's take a look at Spanish Serenade here, the number 2. If you look at Twixter and Spanish Serenade raced against each other on September 22nd, and they really weren't that far apart. They weren't that far separated. We can watch the race. Following that race, Twixter stepped up and faced tougher and actually had trouble in that race. And I feel like Spanish Serenade stepped up and faced tougher. And I feel like this is a horse who's really shown improvement. And I think there's going to be a little too much separation between the two, just like based on their morning line. One's 10-1, the other's 5-2. And if we look at the race on September 22nd, when they faced each other, I actually thought Spanish Serenade ran really well in there. So we're going to watch the race. And we will be watching the numbers 5 and 6 in their most recent, in this replay that we'll be watching. So Spanish Serenade's the horse on the outside who's going to be a tad slow, and we'll basically see, at the back of the pack. Is going to take back and get over. So you have Spanish Serenade who's at the back, Twixter sitting in front of, and that's really the difference in finishing position between these two. Like Twixter just gets the jump on Spanish Serenade a little bit here. We got a little bumped at the start, and then is going to make this big 4-wide sweeping move all the way up to contend and then flattens out. So if you're telling me the horse went from the back, made a big wide sweeping move, got a little bit tired and flattened out, and was chasing the lone speed winner, Chairman Layla, I actually thought Spanish Serenade was like equal to what we got from Twixter. So here goes the 5, kind of tipping out, and Twixter's going to try to make a move here. Spanish Serenade's waiting from the back, and then Spanish Serenade's going to tip out and make a big move. So watch the gray, like circling the field here. And, that wide trip is not easy. While Twixter navigates traffic, look at Spanish Serenade get pushed out really wide, and then the two of them close together. I didn't think this was a bad effort chasing lone speed. Following this, you get a step up in class, and you get a good effort against better, even with some trouble. And what I like about Spanish Serenade in the most recent race, the one that followed this, he showed more tactical speed early on. I just feel like this horse is heading in the right direction right now, and I think we're going to get a lot better value on him than we will on Twixter. So I stacked them, the 2 on top of Sunyani, who might be the speed of the speed in here. Then I put the Twixter right below, and then the number 6, All for Honor, would be the other one for me, putting 2 starts together, taking a big drop down in class. The blinkers coming on should show, the best effort that we've seen from this filly so far. I went 2, 5, 4, 6 with my real key to the race, the number 2 in here. In race number 3, second leg of this pick 5 sequence, I thought the 4, Get My Drift, with the blinkers coming on, just felt like a horse that could get a really good trip in here. This one's face better, drops, the blinkers coming on. And if you look at possible speed from the 1, possible speed from the 5, these are horses that have shown speed, especially the 5, and who's like to stop. I think the 4 is the right horse in here. So I also thought the Miz's horse, I'm awesome. Definitely not the Miz's horse, but it's the Miz's catchphrase here. Cutting back after showing a little positional speed against better, just could end up being in a good spot here. Another one who could end up being in a right spot if some of the speeds falter. I use 4-7 on top. Then to me, after those two, then it would be the speed horses. The 1 and the 5, I kind of have them in that same tier with each other. Following that, if you're looking for a couple wild cards, I would throw in first timers like the 3, She Is Hopeful, or the 8, Always My Fault. Good luck in the third there as we move to race number 4. We'll go a mile and a 16th on the inner turf course here. I thought the 5, Jack the Cat, both the 5 and the 4 to me feel like horses that could sit a nice trip and possibly get the jump on Desolator to, because Desolator all of a sudden has become just really sharp. Those last 2 races have been big sweeping moves. And on paper, he looks like he's going to get a nice setup because you go down to the inside and you've got a lot of probable speeds in here. The 1 is really quick. Mad Jog and Joe wants to go. Dursky wants to be forwardly placed. Segumi wants to go. And then you have a couple others that can even be tactical. So there might be 3+ speeds in here. Hullabaloo wants to be close up. And then you have a few other of these pressers. So I might look for 1 or 2 of the pressers who I think can sit the trip and include with Desolator. 10's the horse they all have to hold off. 4 and 5 look like those horses to me who I think can get the jump and maybe sit the trip behind some of the speeds. I'll give Jack the Cat a little bit of a look here. Certainly capable. And then Steak and Cheese. 5, 10, and 4 for me in race number 4. As we move to race number 5, I'm going to look at the 7 in here, Lois, along with the horse who I think is the horse to catch and beat, the 6, Spanish Beauty. Lois has been a little unlucky. He's had legitimate trouble in a few of her starts. I think with one of her better efforts, she can sit closer early on. She's shown some nice speed, but she's just had bad starts early in the last few. She's actually shown that she can pass horses. Also, she gets off of inside post to the outside. If you'll notice, she's drawn the 2, 2, the 1, and the 3 posts in the last few. Now she shifts to the outside where I think she may be able to kind of dictate her trip a little bit better here. So I like her at a bit of a price. Lois, the 6, Spanish Beauty, feels like the horse they'll all have to catch and beat. There might be 2 major speeds in here. And if so, I could see a horse like the 8 sitting a good trip as well, Ishiaya. So I would go 7, 6, and 8. 1's taking a massive drop in class, kind of a wild card. Maybe you throw this horse in based on price. That one's the kind of the X factor to me. Let's close it out. Race number 6. The 2, Spring High, gets back to the synthetic today, coming back from Fort Erie and just maybe didn't like the dirt in the last couple starts. I would give this horse a big shot at a 15-1 morning line price. Spring High could sit a nice trip, getting back to the synthetic. The 7, Wings from Above, has speed. Looks like the one they'll have to beat. Will take a good amount of money in here. Drawn well to the outside. The 3, there's getting some class relief coming out of much tougher. And then Sonnet's Name would be another. If you were looking to spread, wouldn't be shocked to see this horse forwardly placed and part of it early on here. And a horse who's was kind of getting good in back-to-back wins. Felt like they found the right level. And then last time out, slow start, been off for a little while. You can make a legitimate case here for some strong connections with the 1. I went 2, 7, 3, and 1 in race number 6 there. That's the closeout leg of the early pick 5 on Thursday, October the 12th at Woodbine. Good luck Thursday. Remember, whenever you need any help playing the races, it's got to be with DRF and those daily racing form past performances. You can get free past performances right now when you sign up with DRF Bets and use that promo code WINNING. Good luck over on Thursday.